Yeah, JP, us the numbers are going to start climbing soon. So I know who you are. I
Yeah,
mean, you and I have dealt with each other's nonsense for a good couple of years, but
yeah, it's been
yeah, I don't think many of the people in the ball python community know who JP Wittstock and who Oracle Reptiles is. Um,
no.
can you just give us a little bit of a back history and some of the stuff you keep and some of your claim to fame, like your sit-in that you did a few years, did many years ago? Because I always see the photos of those.
Yeah, 100%. And then every time I post a photo, those are like, "What the hell's going on here? What are you doing?"
Yeah.
It's it's cool. JP Wittstock. Obviously, I've been keeping for a long time, 36 years in total. 1994, I sat at Fitzsimmons Snake Park to break Austin Stevens' record of 107 days. I sat for 120 days at Fitzsimmons at the time. And yeah, it was obviously an interesting time. Before Google, unfortunately, because I could have learned something. 1997, I started the first reptile-only pet shop in the country, Reptiles Unlimited. Reptiles Unlimited is still running, but there's a private breeding facility, myself and James, my son. And then, yeah, 2014, I started Oracle Reptiles with Clint Thompson to focus on slightly more high-end animals. Difficulty, obviously, running two brands and two facilities is there's quite a lot of cross-pollination. So I do a lot of pattern stuff. Yeah, going into it's a difficult market, with the ball pythons. All the breeders want top-end multi-gene stuff, but all the pet owners want pretty and affordable stuff. So you have to draw the balance there between the two. You multi-gene high-end stuff, or do you mix it up with stuff like your coral glows and your bananas that are super pretty and accessible to a lot of people?
Yeah.
The thing is, we need more people in the hobby in South Africa. So the more affordable, the prettier stuff that we can make, and more people we can get into the hobby, I think the better for everyone it will be.
No, definitely agree.
Yeah, basically that's me. I'm excited. I've seen a definite shift over the last 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years, from very basic setups for snakes. We tend to be moving to live terrariums, most reptile park quality exhibitions. In terms of the caging, which was very cool. Obviously, I know the tree viper guys and the boreal guys will claim that one. They say they're first, but we know it's just because they don't have to do as much, in terms of cleaning, because it's self-cleaning, bioactive setups.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the two different setups. I mean, point in case is your snake room right now.
Yes, yeah, 100%. I mean, I've got a lot of the racking stuff on one side, and then we're replacing this entire side here is going to all be display stuff. Display. In terms of drawing a balance or creating that balance between breeding, for the public and the pet trade, and the enjoyment of keeping, for yourself. So I do quite a lot of Amazon Trebo stuff. So all the Amazons will obviously be in the display stuff on the side here, and then the ball pythons in the racking systems for ease of cleaning, and obviously to maximize the breeding that you get from the.
Yeah, I must actually admit, I watched I think it was your YouTube or your TikTok video the other day. Not that I'm on TikTok. It's just a video you sent of you actually setting up your one adult Amazon Trebo cage, and you actually do it. It was YouTube,
YouTube, yeah.
So you actually got quite a good setup for them, because I mean, you give them different places to hide and different levels and the heating and that.
Yeah, it works quite well. You know, we're fortunate here in Durban where the humidity is not such an issue that we have to create it. But yeah, it just seems to work. You know, if you give them multiple areas where they can move between, they find their own niche and they find where they're happy and go from there.
Yeah, no, definitely. JP, we've actually got our first question for you.
Yeah.
So it says, hi guys, JP, what is your favorite indigenous species you keep?
At the moment, I would say tiger snakes.
Okay.
Yeah, they intrigue me. I often come through here at night, leave the main lights off, and just watch them moving around the enclosure. Just and can we swear on this thing? Because
I would prefer not to, but
they they're not the most pleasant animals in terms of you can handle them, but in 2 or 3 years' time, they're still going to bite you.
yeah.
So, that doesn't change. But the fact that they're super inquisitive, they often come to the front of the enclosure, look around. I've got them eating basically out the tongs and stuff. So it's really easy. Once they get over that baby stage where they are these tiny little even pencil lead size animals to a decent size where they can take a whole prey item, they become an absolute pleasure.
Yeah. Now, I've seen some of your tiger snakes that you've posted on the one WhatsApp group and that, and I mean, they're killer. They really are killer animals. They just have such a nice look to them and everything. So yeah, you're definitely working with a great species there. Are we allowed to talk about your recent edition or not? That you posted it.
The death adders.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, they obviously, it's something I've worked with. I haven't worked with the Rugosus before. I've always had the Jara before this, but yeah, I'm keen to work with them, let them go. They're quite difficult as babies. They prefer lizard items as prey. Fortunately, we don't have a shortage of geckos down here, so.
No, we don't. I can supply you as well, so it's cool, man.
Exactly. Yeah, we're good there. I'll let them get settled and started on the geckos, and then move them over to pinks with scenting and that sort of stuff, just to get them. But let them get a good start first. Get the calcium and everything they need from the geckos just to build, and we'll move them over to mice. I like to vary the diet, even with the tiger snakes. I don't know if anyone's watched any of the stuff on my YouTube page with the tiger snakes, where I feed them whatever, it's lizards, mice, little rats, not often with the rats because of the high fat contents in that. And I even, we had a roadkill, an injured chameleon which passed away while we were trying to look after it. And I fed that to the female tiger as well, and took it without any doubt. Without any question, yeah.
Just so that people who are watching, they can find you on YouTube. What is your YouTube channel called?
It's called Oracle Reptiles.
Okay.
That's right. Just written. There's a nice picture up there of a baby croc in that. Obviously, I've got the advantage of my Lighty James working at Croc World, so I get to take, which is fun, and make some exciting videos. They're doing great stuff down there, and they're doing live videos and stuff as well. So it's good for the hobby.
Yeah, the main question is, when is James going to hatch that albino crocodile? That's the main question.
Yeah, we're waiting patiently. We're there digging up eggs every season.
As a just in case.
I know. An albino Nile croc. You've seen how nice the albino alligators and that are from the States.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine a Nile croc would be.
Yeah, the only thing that I think that a few of the guys from the States have said, I could be misquoting, is that they might have an issue with the sunlight, but I don't think that is the case with the albino alligators.
No, generally not. You'll see, I think Greg Graziani has got quite a few of the thing, and Brian Barczyk's got now as well. But outside enclosures for their stuff. Obviously, give them close to hard. I mean, alligators generally don't stay out in the sun the whole time. They live in the Everglades and in swamps and places with trees and tree roots and that. And they like to burrow into the tree roots and that to make a nest. So, yeah, I mean, if you give them ample hiding space, like any other reptile, I suppose, they will find their comfort zone. They're happier.
But talking of the alligators and that, I must say, they've got some very impressive stuff there in the States at the moment. They've got those pied alligators. They've got the melanistic alligators. I'm waiting for the day that they produce those snow alligators just because they can.
Yeah, just because they can, and it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, and albino pied alligators and
one day.
Yeah, one day when we're big boys, we'll own.
We generally tend to be a few years behind them, but as soon as we do get it, we all right. In South Africa, we know how to breed stuff, so we can quickly.
No, we definitely can catch up quickly on that one. But JP, it's you and I have dealt with each other for many, many years and that, and I mean, you've taught me a lot of things, and I must say, like, there are times where I just can never say thank you enough for everything you've done, especially with teaching me on some of the stuff with regards to the ball pythons. And I mean, I don't think many people understand how you got the nickname Oracle Reptiles, or how the name Oracle came about.
Yeah, I'd like to think that it's because people ask a lot of questions and I answer them, but I've got a sneaky suspicion it's because I'm so damn old. I chose for reptiles wasn't something I chose. It was bestowed upon me basically.
Yeah.
I think it's to do with age, but yeah.
No, I'm going to go with more along the lines of it's the sign of wisdom and not with the age. Because, I mean, the only thing that's good with the age is wine. That's about it.
Yeah, and brandy.
Brandy, yes. Brandy and whiskey. We can't deny the alcohol here. If we actually do have anyone from overseas, South Africa's going through a bit of a drought at the moment. And we're not talking about rainfall. We're talking about alcohol. Because I've actually been talking to a few people overseas and telling them about this whole situation in lockdown, banning alcohol and tobacco. And they just shake their heads saying, wow, what is the purpose? But I don't think this is the right platform at the moment to be talking about that.
Exactly. Yeah. The one where we all have a griping session about the government and...
Yeah, I think that could be left to WhatsApp video calls rather, like WhatsApp video group calls where nobody's recording anything.
We'll just give it to the chap from the Kiffness. He's really good with putting it out there. And him and Max Harrell, they are. Exactly.
Those songs at the moment are going around, and I mean, I must admit, your video the other day where you had the Zol song, 10 points.
Yeah.
10 points for that video. That was worth the watch.
No, that's embarrassingly enough, that was on TikTok.
I try not to admit that I watch the videos from TikTok that you post on the WhatsApp groups, but I do.
You do. You'll love TikTok. We just don't know.
Well, you won't find TikTok on my phone, so I can happily say that with a happy face.
I think like most of the apps, like WhatsApp, like Facebook, it's a good platform to advertise. If you do it right, if you go around like I do on that thing, then no. But if we want in South Africa, we want to grow this hobby into an industry, we need to start treating it like a business and not like a hobby. Yeah. We need to do the marketing. We need to send every single person that keeps snakes on an economics 101 course first, because yeah, these things are not cheap. You've got to pay for it to make a reward, financially. If you want to make it your living, obviously you need to think like a businessman. If it's a sideline hobby and it's something that you just use to break away from everyday grind, great, then carry on, But if, the question I'm most often asked is, can I make snakes my living? And the question is, yes, you can. I mean, we all see snakes just breed 10,000 ball pythons and become a millionaire. No, it doesn't work like that. There's 1,000 other people breeding ball pythons as well. You have the same conditions as you. The reptile market isn't just confined to breeding. There's so much to the reptile thing. Your food producers. I mean, you think back to the gold rush in Johannesburg. The guys that made the most amount of money are the people who sold not the oaks digging for. It's the guys who sold the spade, because every single miner wanted to dig, but they needed the tools. Same with the reptile. You've got to be a producer. You've got to be producing cages. You've got to be producing food. Rats, mice, lizards. There's lots of guys keeping small biters and tiger snakes and all sorts of stuff that require feed lizards. Good, healthy, captive bred feed lizards. Not difficult to do. So we do it. There's cage makers, accessory suppliers, breeders, substrates, venom extraction. There's so many factors. Tourism, education, ecotourism, handling equipment, pet shops, reptile removals. There's so many different things that we can do.
Yeah.
In this, so we need to break away from the fact. Well, it's my opinion. If anyone disagrees, then that apologize. But it's my opinion. We need to break away from the mind that it's one direction, one facet, and we must breed snakes and we must produce the best and the most expensive animals or the best genes and get them to market. Yeah, that's cool. That is one aspect of the industry, one aspect of the hobby that we're in. But there are so many different other aspects. So you look around you, look at the guys that venom extraction. You've got Chris Hobkirk, you've got Mark Perry, you've got the guys that are doing it. Education, you've got Arno, you've got Johan, you've got all of them that are doing it on a regular basis. They're making money out of it. They're doing it. You've got your big breeders. You've got your online pet stores. You've got Clicker Pet. You've got Ultimate Exotics. Rolf and them are doing freaking amazing stuff with their animals and their substrates and whatever else they're sending out. So we need to think more like businessmen if we want to make this a career.
Yeah.
And I think people when they ask.
Yeah, you talk like that. I must actually give out a shout out to Rolf Dennison, constantly making my wallet lighter every month. but for a good reason. Supply of the rodents. Rolf, you're the man.
100%. That's what you want. You want suppliers, you want producers, but you can't tell me that in this country we can't produce our own thermostats.
Yeah.
So bringing in rubbish from China that for some reason always failed in the closed position, so it still carries on heating once it fails.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got the capabilities right here. Why don't we use it?
Yeah.
The lighting domes, the water bowls and stuff. I know a good friend of ours, Mr. Ainsley, is busy with stuff, printing, 3D printing and that. Guys, we need 3D printing water bowls and hards and that sort of stuff. Why are we bringing it in?
Yeah.
You want to grow the industry, you want to grow the market. Let's build a market. If it's not there, let's build our own one. Let's get the guys going, get them producing their own stuff, and take it
proudly South African stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And made for our conditions and made for our
yeah.
They might in that aspect, but you can outbreed them with something and just you know, later, even if you swap it out, it doesn't matter. Everyone gets value.
Yeah. Well, as far as I'm concerned, they just need to make something that's definitely Warwick proof, because I tend to break everything. So if they can make something that I can't break, then it's going to be a good product.
You see, but then you can start a testing company, you know. Oracle Reptiles testing. So once it gets you, then you know stuff that's unbreakable.
Yeah.
Eh?
No, I'd definitely love to test that stuff. I mean, let me tell you one thing. I've always had a philosophy. If you ever want to test something's strength and durability, send it to a school. If it can survive 30 minutes in a school, you have a winning product.
Destructible, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm talking from experience, coming from the teaching at high school level. I mean, not a day went by where something didn't break, and that was just from the teachers.
We had the same thing, you know. Many years ago, I was in law enforcement, and if that's why they only gave us the other Hiluxes, because everything else got broken.
Oh man,
I understand the pain.
JP, we got a question, but I'm going to come back to that one.
Okay.
I actually want to go back to, you spoke about your sit-in at the start of the session here. What made you try break the record for that sit-in? Was it just to see if you could survive it mentally, or?
It's a bit of both. I was in the police at the time. I was in the riot unit. It was just as we were changing from you know the apartheid era to democracy, and yeah, it was rough. I mean, I just lost a partner that I'd been with closely for many years. I mean, he got ambushed and died, and yeah, mentally I was an angry I was an angry bunny at the time, and the opportunity came up, and I didn't have kids at the time, but I was married. And I said to my wife Tracy, I said, "Hey, listen, it's here. Let me try it. You know, I think I can do it. I've got strong willpower." And yeah, we did it. We sat. We arranged. We actually.
JP, your network issues going a bit.
In conjunction with.
Sorry, JP, your network, we lost you for quite a bit there.
Alan Joffe and them from way back when. He on that side.
JP, can you, to those watching on YouTube, we do apologize for the technical difficulties. There we go. I think JP's back now.
Froze on my side. I was like, where was I? Yeah, so I said to Tracy, I said, yeah, you know what, let me try it. And we
JP, I think it's whenever you mention Tracy's name,
man, the supreme meal. Sorry, bud, you broke up there.
I said every time you've mentioned Tracy's name, the signal is gone. I think this is Tracy's way of making sure that you don't talk anything bad about her.
No, I think she's sure I don't talk about doing another sit-in.
I think so, because now you're not mentioning her. Your signal's fine and you're streaming fine now.
We shall know speak that name.
Yeah, but if I'm not, sorry,
it was good. We were raising money for CROW, the Centre for Rehabilitation of Wildlife here in Durban.
Okay. And
obviously for improvements to Fitzsimmons Snake Park. It had just been taken over quite recently by Craig and Belinda Smith. They'd taken it over from John Akers, and if you guys are on Facebook, I've opened up a Fitzsimmons page. Just, you know, obviously the snake park is not there anymore, but the memories are there, the people are still around. You'll ever get to know. So if anyone wants to go and have a look, there's some nice old photos and people you may recognize, like young and suave Byron Zimmermans and John Chin. But, that place, it holds a very special spot in a lot of people's hearts. Lots of great friendships and memories and stuff were born there. So, I was very fortunate to be able to sit and view the sit. And it was 120 days. I was doing it in competition with Alan Joffe from Margate. Unfortunately, Alan wasn't a fan of shoes and tended to walk around barefoot. And he unfortunately stepped on a green mamba twice. Got bitten twice. He left. He'd also broken Austin Stevens' record. I think he'd already sat for more than 107 days, if I can remember correctly. It was a while ago,
Yeah.
And then I carried on to 120 days, and that record stood from 1994 all the way to 2012. And David Jones from the UK came and did a sit-in here for 121 days, which is,
You always get that one person, eh? Always get that one person.
It's cool. You can't hold on to it forever. I mean, Austin Stevens was so amazing when I broke his record. I mean, we WhatsApp back then, and we didn't even have cell phones. So he faxed congratulations, the actual facts that came through to the, well done on break. And it's very cool. So long time ago, there's some flipping great memories. And if any of the guys that are on Facebook want to go and have a look at Fitzsimmon Snake Park page, lots of photos from the sit-in there, lots of very young faces that might be familiar. Very, very young.
Yeah, but going back to how Fitzsimmon Snake Park holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts. I'm one of those. Fitzsimmon was the place where I got my first snake, snow corn snake, back in the day in 2001. And I mean,
100.
Dude, that's what kicked it off for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've seen, I think Byron Zimmerman has seen the biggest change in me, for going from corn snakes through to boas to ball pythons to where I am now. Ash?
Yeah.
You know what I think we need to do one evening is get the OGs on this. That's you, that's Arno, that's Byron, that's John.
Yeah.
All of us, one go, maybe even Heidi. Yeah. We need Heidi on there to beautify the stream a bit.
No, for sure. No, that would to have all the long time people.
Yeah.
Well, said that, you know what, we've got some amazing young and up and coming guys in the country that are doing flipping amazing things with education as a whole. Dingo, he's doing some flipping amazing work. On YouTube, he's probably the biggest South African reptile guy on YouTube. Bryce, flipping phenomenal stuff.
Yeah,
out there, bringing awareness, doing really good stuff. So, why not? We need to grow the, I'll say, hobby in, for lack of a better word. We need to grow the industry.
Yeah.
We need to get it to a point where guys can leave school and go into the industry. Go and study whatever it is that you want to, but know that you can come in and do stuff that you're passionate about and stuff that you love. Imagine waking up, purely working with snakes, and knowing that at the end of the month you don't have to worry about paying the bills. There will be enough money coming in. You've diversified enough. You know what? You can do it if we all stick together and we all build on it. Some basic economics 101 and decent passion, and we can all make a living out of it. And I don't have to go and work at a bank every day and come home and 3 hours at night in my snake room, catching up. It would be
no, it'd be awesome. But JP, can I read you the question that was posted on YouTube for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says, what is one species that you would love to keep that you do not have at the moment?
Sure. Probably bushmasters, from South America.
Yeah.
I think they're amazing, phenomenal animals. They get large in size. Unfortunately, they prohibitively expensive here in South Africa. There are a few around, and hopefully the guys get to breeding them regularly, and they'll become more affordable. And I'd love to own a pair of bushmasters. I would probably apportion a good part of the snake room to a decent setup for them, where in cage. I think that would be amazing.
No, definitely. I'll be honest with you, like if I get the chance, I'd love to work with diamond pythons. They are just such stunning animals. If I recall back a few years ago, there was actually some for sale, but I think they were hybrids, if I'm not mistaken. Or were they...
There are diamond pythons in South Africa, captive bred diamond pythons, but they're not.
Oh, man.
The entire clutch.
Sorry, you said that one again? The entire clutch?
I said the entire clutch was held back. So they're all getting grown up. Hopefully there'll be lots more of them. But I mean, surely I can interest you in some albino carpets in the interim.
Yeah, I know. Though. Let me tell you one thing. When I saw that first albino carpet at one of the expos a few years ago, I was blown away.
These things are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
But I like how you positioned yourself right by that albino carpet. Like you knew that I was going to mention something about the Morelia species at some point.
I backed myself. I've got Xanthic bumblebees and I've got all sorts of stuff close by. So whatever it was.
Well, whilst you're showing off the albino carpet, is there anything else that is of interest that you think everyone watching might enjoy, without getting without drawing too much blood? Now we're talking.
These are cool. She likes to bite, so as soon as she wakes up, I'm sure I'll get bitten.
Well, I did say show something off that wasn't going to draw blood, and you chose the one thing that's going to draw blood. Dude, they're still one of my favorite species. They really are.
But I love them, man. And I have a few, so I intend to breed them prolifically in the next few years. We've got a couple of really good looking ones. Hopefully you get to the level where Byron is with his blood reds and his calicos, but take a while.
I was just about to actually say that Byron Zimmerman definitely produces some of the best, if not the best, Amazons in this country. That man has worked long and hard with these animals, and it's paying off. And I mean, those patternless yellows that he produces year in, year out are stunning, even when they get to adults.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. So, and it's testament to dedication and hard work. If you line breed them long enough, you're going to get the results that you want. So, anyone who's looking to go into something, keep back the best babies for yourself. The animals, keep them back, let them grow, and change out animals that you've got in your collection for the better quality the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm a bit rich coming from me, but don't back to any state.
Why do you think I put my laptop in such a way that I've got the sound behind me so that people can't see my holdbacks? I do that on purpose.
I was contemplating bringing that sign forward, and then I thought, on YouTube, we've probably seen the room. We've got it downstairs as well, which where the incubator and some of the other carpets and that are kept. But we need to get to a point where we hold back only select animals and stuff like that. Again, depending what you want to do, if your end goal is to supply every pet shop in the country with corn snakes, and king snakes, and ball pythons, then look, by all means, no problem. You know, I was fortunate enough to get to some of the guys in the States, and I think his name Ken something. He was telling me he supplies Petco in the States 2,800 stores. He supplies all of them with corn snakes, king snakes, milk snakes, and mice.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a lot of snakes and mice.
Piles out pallets of frozen rodents.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you remember way back when Paul Fenter was doing it here in Durban, and he was flying frozen stuff all around the country.
Yeah.
The market, the market is there, and if the guys are prepared to do it and spend the time and effort into doing it, it's there. I mean, they can do it.
But you talk like that. I just wish I still had the photo of when I visited one of the rodent breeders in the States a few years ago. We took a photo of it down the corridor. I'm standing right at the very end, and I just look like this little minuscule dot in the photo. And it was just ridiculous, the amount of stuff. And I mean, I visited him a few times, and every time I'm just blown away by the stuff he does. And that's just from the rodents.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, the way of doing it, you know, with Lindy Johnson, with Freedom Breeder, you know, his racking system for rodents. I mean, I was fortunate enough to chat to him as well. And he told me straight out, he says, "Bud, I like fishing, you know, and I don't like spending all day cleaning rat cages." So I made the most rat cages I could. And these are them. They're Freedom Breeder rat cages. They were completely phenomenal. Half an hour in the morning, fill up all the food, make sure that the water is running all on nozzles, and then you can go fishing.
Yeah.
You know, so he enjoyed that. But it's exactly the same thing here. You know, it doesn't have to be time-consuming and laborious. You can, like anything, you can automate it to a point where it takes a lot of the grind out, the day-to-day grind. And everyone who's kept snakes and bred their own rats knows that the rats take way more time to clean than the snakes do. So,
well, that's why I don't do rats anymore. I just get them from Rolf, just also due to the fact that I'm allergic to the damn rats. So I had to think of the easiest alternative that didn't kill me. So
no, absolutely, and that's the thing. He offers a good service, and it's delivered, and you know they're always healthy. So I'm not.
No, definitely. But yeah, JP, there's actually quite an interesting question here as well. I mean, we're going back a few years as well, again on this. Are there any plans to run a Durban Expo again after this virus clears?
Yes, we were going to run it this year in September, but unfortunately, with the way things have worked out and everything being pushed back, we will probably only run it next year again. But yeah, it was definitely on the cards. We would have run it last year, but at the last minute, the venue decided to book another expo at the same weekend, and we would have to fall in, which meant the exhibitors couldn't come in the day before, they couldn't set up, and they couldn't come in early on the morning of the thing. Yeah. So we can't run an expo like that. So
no, because we need that time for setup and that.
No, exactly. And I mean, that's when we sit and talk nonsense to each other. We don't see.
I mean, you talk like that. I mean, you're like a 20-minute drive from me. And I mean, I still haven't even come to see your new snake room. And you already had that, what, like a year and a half, 2 years now?
Yeah, no. about a year and a half, yeah.
I mean, you're 20-minute drive from me, and I haven't even come to see your room yet. It just goes to show how life gets in the way of living at the moment. That's why we live for the expos.
Yeah, I've seen you more at the expo than I've seen you at my house.
I know that's actually the sad part, that we have to travel 6 hours just to see each other.
Exactly, but exactly. No, nowhere I stay, you're always welcome. So just pop in.
Well, I can't at the moment. I'm afraid I might get arrested.
That's fine. I can give you a permit. One of those things. Look in the fraud. I can ask you.
But yeah, no, JP, I mean, I've had a lot of fun tonight just talking absolute, like, just nonsense and just basically just doing what we do best. And I mean, I know the questions this evening were a little bit quieter, but I mean, I think we've actually discussed a lot of things that have been on a lot of people's minds, especially at looking at this as a viable business and what angles to hit it at.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there's a lot of youngsters, and the workplace is becoming more and more difficult. You know, it's the unemployment's quite high in this country. It's difficult for you to get into the formal sector, you know, the formal employment, where why can't they just run their own businesses? You know, we can do it. We've got an industry capable of supporting a lot more people than it currently is.
Yeah.
And look, if we diversify enough and we do, you know, like I said, there's so many different facets that people can go into. And look, why not? If they can go into it and they can make a living out of it, what a pleasure.
Yeah, no, definitely. What's that saying? Do what you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life.
Oh, something like that. Something like that.
Yeah. I've never quite understood that saying, because if I'm doing something I love, I still have to do the work. And then it just turns what I enjoy into a business and painful. And then you just get fed up with the boss and you can't swear at him. Then you realize because it's you.
Yeah, so, just take the off the wall and then you can swear all No, but, you know what? Like every other industry, it takes a lot of discipline. It takes work, and snakes don't need to eat every single day, which is cool as opposed to other animals. But you still need to give them attention every day. You need to make sure that they've got water. You need to make sure that the thermostats are right. You need to make sure that they don't have any parasites and that sort of stuff. So, and it's a nice time to unwind. You know, just to spend time in the snake room with the animals, doing, you know, just de-stressing and getting rid of the day's stress. Yeah. What an absolute, yeah.
Well, I must admit, I'm actually quite grateful for the lockdown in a way, because it's actually been able to get me back in touch with my animals and understand exactly what's going on in them minds. Not that I understand their minds, but you know what I'm saying.
You don't speak. What's wrong with you?
Well, I'm not the Oracle, okay? So there's my first problem there.
But if there's anyone watching that can automate washing tubs, you will be. I promise you, everyone will buy one of those automatic tub washers. Stick it in, do its thing, just like a dishwasher, but for tubs.
Yeah.
So, please, just gave away a brilliant business idea.
There's also been another question here for you, JP. Have you seen an increase in the hobby over the last 10 years, and how do you see it evolving in the next 10 years?
Yeah, there's been a dramatic increase in the amount of people. I mean, I think back to when I started, you know, like the snake keepers were, sure, there's some dodgy people there, they keep snakes. You know, they're in the corner by themselves. Now, because obviously with population growth, a lot of houses and stuff have got smaller. People don't have massive gardens, so getting a cat, your traditional pets, is not always possible. People are living in flats, they're living in duplexes. You still need that interaction with the animal. You still need that bond with an animal. Snakes as pets and bearded dragons and leopard geckos, that sort of stuff is flipping amazing for smaller houses, smaller flats and duplexes and that, where you still want to interact with the animal, but you don't have an outside area for them to run around. So, and also I think with the ease of getting stuff like your UV lights and decent caging, I mean, we've got guys making phenomenal cages, you know, right here on our doorstep. That are awesome, you know, so you can set up and realistically live looking vivarium in your cage, in your room, with an animal in that's happy and healthy and content, and you get to interact with it, and it gives you joy. And it doesn't need an outside garden. It doesn't bark the whole night and keep the neighbors away. and cats and kill millions of birds. So yeah, it's a win-win-win. And I think the hobby, as the population grows and more people are exposed to people like Steve Irwin, on TV, who did so much for educating and bringing all the maligned animals, into people's hearts. I think if we as South Africans carry on with that and spend time on YouTube and just talking about our natural wildlife, our indigenous animals, the reptiles that we have, that sort of stuff, I think it'll add phenomenally to what's happening and what will happen in the future.
I definitely agree. But you talk like that as when you look at like the leopard geckos that you're talking about and the bearded dragons, for people living in flats and duplexes, those have got such amazing personalities. I think that's what also attracts people to the leopard geckos and the bearded dragons as well. I mean,
I've got an entire snake room here, but I have a bearded dragon in the house. It's when you come home and it's scratching on the glass to get out and just to interact. It's amazing.
No, definitely. And I mean, if you have a look at it, people are now even making little harnesses with wings for bearded dragons because everyone wants a dragon, man.
Oh, everyone wants to be Khaleesi. That's why.
I think once Elon Musk's perfects the little miniaturized flamethrowers, I think people will be buying that for their bearded dragons too, with the wings.
Oh, no, that'll be amazing.
But yeah.
Nothing wrong.
No,
and Warwick, from your in terms of ball pythons, I know you're quite up there with your genetics and your recessives and that sort of stuff. Where do you see? I have a lot of ball pythons and I breed them regularly in that. But where do you see the South African market with the ball pythons and such?
Oh, can I let you know when we get there? I think that'll probably be the best answer I can give you right now. No, the way I look at it is, especially from more of a hobbyist point of view than a industry point of view, I think a lot of people are working on so many different aspects of it. Sorry. And so many people are working so many different levels and different aspects that the chance of every single person producing the exact same animals year in, year out is limited. I mean,
yeah, very.
If I go, like, I talk a lot to DJ about my breeding projects, and DJ talks to me about some of his stuff as well. And if out of 10 pairings we overlap one, that's us copying each other way too much type of thing. So the chance of us all producing the same thing is just very limited. I mean, I'm working with some stuff that isn't readily available here. So it's just very, that's where I enjoy it, is the fact that I like to think outside the box, and the more people that can think outside the box, the better the industry will become.
I agree fully, but I'm working with some ball python morphs here, and I'm like, dude, if I put that, I mean, I've got like 5 gene males, 3 or 4 gene females. Like, no, it's too much. It's difficult. So I think that's the fun part about it, is where it doesn't matter what you produce. There's a market for it. We joke about it often, and I'm sure I've spoken to you about it. My normals, which are, I never breed for normal, but the first to sell out, because the guys in the hobby where they're building an interest, guys like Nick Evans who go and do talks and that sort of stuff at schools. People want to get into the game, but they don't have a hell of a lot of money to spend. So you a 300 rand ball python, a normal ball python, where they can start and they can learn and they can fall in love with the animals. So if you've got an interested person interested in snakes, and that person can talk to their friends and just change the mindsets of people in their immediate family as well, because they're going to interact with the animals.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth it, to be honest.
Well, I'm going to say something now, and I know I'm probably going to get skinned alive by the ball python community in the country. But honestly, I can see the coral glows being the coral glows and bananas being the next normal in this country. Because the way I look at it, if I can choose between a decently priced coral glow or banana versus a decently priced normal, obviously I will want to try to spend that a little bit more, get the coral glow banana just because it looks so awesome. And
100%.
I think
100%. Get 20, 30 people to think that way, new people into the industry. Yeah, purple and yellow snake. I mean, come on. It doesn't, it boggles the mind. And it's such an amazing, and if you use it intelligently, you're a winner all the way. If you put a coral glow to a pod, well, all the pods are going to be girls. What a win.
Well, that's if you have a female coral glow maker.
Yeah, unless not all of us have those, Warwick. Only some people, okay? It's like you.
But no, like you were talking about the one guy in the States breeding for Petco. I know was it Petco, or it was one of those branded pet shops that are quite big in the States, and they required a minimum of 2,000 coral glows a month just to stock their shops. And I mean,
I can imagine.
You think about that one. If you own 20 coral glow males and 100 females, you could breed coral glows all day long in the States, and you will be making a great financial living. But unfortunately, our population isn't as big as the States.
Granted, it's not, but you know what? Our rand is stupidly weak at the moment. So we've got an excellent opportunity. We can undercut almost any country in the world.
Yeah.
The pricing. We can export stuff here for the price that we want and still be cheaper than the States and the UK and, places like that. Yeah, there's a couple of animals, your sunsets, your monsoons, and, the super rare stuff that will still be stupidly expensive. But as a whole, I mean, look, what we're producing here is of such good quality. And if we export that, some of the guys have taken advantage of it. Some of the guys are sending out to Hong Kong and those places. But there is enough of a market internationally for us to send our stuff. And, our export and exchange rates are so low that we will undercut almost anyone.
Yeah. It just takes that business opportunity and that business mindset and basically jumping in at the right time.
100%. And getting on the phone or getting on the email and sending people stuff and, doing the hard graft. It's not going to just happen. No one's going to say, listen, I'm looking for South African exporters. You've got to go and present your product, to whoever it is, to everyone's got access to the internet, everyone's got access to Facebook. So if we send that stuff out to the guys and say, listen, send it out to you, it's going to cost you X amount. And so it's going to be cheaper than what they can get it for locally.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's an opportunity. It's there. We just need to harness that opportunity and use it.
No, agreed. But yeah, JP, I'm going to wrap this up on YouTube at the moment. If you can just stay on for a little bit longer, just so I can thank you properly for being here. So yeah, JP, you're obviously on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube, you're on TikTok. Can you just... I had to put that last one in. It really hurt my heart saying that, but I just had to. Can you just let everyone know where they can find you?
I'm everywhere under Oracle Reptiles. Website, oraclereptiles.net. Facebook, /Oracle Reptiles. Instagram, TikTok. I'm not on Oracle Reptiles. It's just JP Wittstock.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
But it's under Oracle Reptiles. If you search it, or even Reptiles Unlimited, both of them are everywhere. So you can find me anywhere. The links are there. If anyone else, what I've done locally is, if anyone else from South Africa has YouTube channels and that, and they'd like to be added to the WhatsApp group, we've got a WhatsApp group for SA Keepers YouTube channels. just so that the guys can share videos, support each other, do collaboration, spend time, like, subscribe. There's no reason why we can't harness some of that YouTube, financial reward in terms of advertising and stuff, and bring some of it here locally to South Africa. We can produce content. We've got a beautiful country. We've got amazing animals. Let's show the world what we have, and we can do it from there. But yeah, if anyone does have a channel, if they can maybe message you or just find me on Facebook, send me a message or a WhatsApp or whatever. I'll add them to the WhatsApp group. And yeah.
No, perfect. Thank you, JP. And yeah, thank you for your time this evening. I actually forgot to post the link to this video on that YouTube WhatsApp group. I'll go post it just now. They can do the catch-up session. So yeah.
Watch retrospectively. That's cool.
Asynchronously.
Yeah. Brilliant.
All right, JP, I'm just going to stop the stream now quickly. And yeah, thank you to everyone who's been watching, and hope you guys have a great evening.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Okay. Let me just make sure that it stopped, because the problem with YouTube is there's such a delay in the live stream. Okay, it's done. It's done.
Cool.
Nice shot, JP. I really appreciate it. I definitely think sorry, I've got a muzzy bite on my hand and it's now starting to bleed. I definitely think we spoke about some very, very cool topics. And yeah, let's just hope some people take some concept of what we said, or what you said, should I say.
No, 100%, but it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. So, I mean, if you want anything in the future, we can do stuff. We can do, talk about the snakes. We can do setups, whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm available. I'm here every night. I don't have a laugh.
Well, I'm sending you a picture now of our session, and you can actually have a look at the setup that I've got. If I'm going to do something, I do it properly.
100%. That's the only way to do it, but anyway.
And just so you know, the best part about Zoom is this feature right here.
The green screen. Yeah.
Oh, I had a meeting the other day, and I had a virtual background on. And when I have meetings for work, I try and make myself look intelligent by having a bookcase behind me. Now, I hadn't secured the green screen properly. And we had the meeting, and the green screen fell. And it was just five of us. And I obviously heard it fall. Another person saw it fall. And three people weren't paying attention. And we're both like just sitting there trying very hard to keep a straight face and not laugh. And I pissed myself with the laughter. They're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? The guy says, Warwick's library fell. Is he okay? And I picked up the green screen. And basically I did this. It was a had to be there moment.
No, that's awesome, really.
Yeah. No, but
I did a lot of the Microsoft Teams meetings, the bank and that. So